Wood chips are either your garden's slowest regret or its fastest upgrade. And honestly, the difference comes down to what you do in the first few weeks. Most gardeners spread chips, walk away, and wait years for nature to do the work. That's passive composting, and it wastes time, nitrogen, and potential. If you've ever looked at a pile of wood chips that barely changed after a season and thought, there has to be a better way, you're right. Today we're turning wood chips from a stubborn carbon sponge into a high-speed compost engine that feeds soil, fungi, and plants in a fraction of the time. Why do wood chips decompose so slowly? Well, wood chips are almost pure carbon. Lignin and cellulose are tough materials designed by trees to resist decay. Microbes can break them down, but only if they have enough nitrogen, moisture, oxygen, and contact with living biology. When chips are spread dry and left alone, microbes stall. They scavenge nitrogen from surrounding soil, decomposition crawls, and gardeners blame the chips instead of the process. The mistake isn't using wood chips. The mistake is letting them rot passively. Composting is not waiting. Composting is management. You've probably heard that wood chips steal nitrogen from your soil. That's only partly true and, honestly, it's pretty misunderstood. Nitrogen tie-up really happens at the surface where microbes are actively feeding on carbon. But, deep soil nitrogen remains largely unaffected. The real problem shows up when chips are mixed into soil or left dry and unfed. Properly conditioned wood chips become nitrogen neutral and, over time, even nitrogen positive as microbial biomass turns over and releases nutrients back to plants. The solution is actually pretty simple. Feed the microbes before they feed on your soil. To make wood chips break down fast, you need to treat them like a compost ingredient, not just mulch. That means adding nitrogen, moisture, and microbial life right away. Start with a pile or windrow at least 3 feet wide and 3 feet tall. Smaller piles dry out and cool off too quickly. Size matters because heat is a sign of microbial activity, and heat speeds decomposition. Soak the pile thoroughly. Dry wood chips are dormant. Wet chips wake biology up. The goal is evenly moist, not dripping. If you squeeze a handful and only a few drops come out, you're right where you want to be. The high-speed nitrogen formula that works. This is where most gardeners underdo it. Wood chips need a serious nitrogen kick to move fast. For every 100 gallons of loose wood chips, dissolve 1 cup of urea fertilizer or 1.5 cups of blood meal into 5 gallons of water. Pour this evenly over the pile while turning or layering the chips. If you prefer a liquid option, use 1 gallon of fresh urine diluted with 5 gallons of water per 100 gallons of chips. This dilution prevents ammonia loss and distributes nitrogen evenly. Water again after application, so the nitrogen moves into the chip matrix instead of evaporating. This single step can cut decomposition time by more than half. So, why are fungi the real game changer? Well, bacteria start the process, but fungi finish it. Wood chips are fungal food, and fungal-dominated compost is gold for gardens, trees, and perennials. To inoculate your pile, just add a few shovels of finished compost forest leaf mold or old decomposed wood. Spread it through the pile while building or turning. You're not adding bulk nutrients here. Instead, you're adding living decomposers that know how to eat lignin. Oxygen is the hidden speed lever. Compaction kills compost speed. Wood chips naturally trap air, but as they wet and collapse, oxygen drops. Turning the pile every 7 to 10 days reintroduces air and redistributes nitrogen and moisture. Each turn should heat the pile again within 24 to 48 hours. If it doesn't, the pile is either too dry or too low in nitrogen. Fix those two variables and the system restarts immediately. Using heat without cooking the biology is really important. Hot composting wood chips is possible, but you don't want extreme temperatures for long periods. Sustained heat above 150 degrees Fahrenheit burns off nitrogen and kills beneficial fungi. The sweet spot is warm, active, and alive. If the pile smells sharp or ammonia-like, it's overfed with nitrogen or too dry. Add water and turn. If it smells earthy and sweet, you're doing it right. If you don't want a separate compost pile, you can condition wood chips directly in garden beds without sacrificing plant health. Lay the chips on the surface at least 4 inches deep. Water thoroughly. Apply the same nitrogen solution at half strength, meaning, half a cup of urea or half a gallon of urine diluted into 5 gallons of water for every 100 square feet of bed. Then just follow with more water. Do not dig the chips into the soil. Let decomposition happen from the top down. Within weeks, fungal threads will bridge soil and chips, and nitrogen tie-up disappears. Conditioned wood chip compost doesn't look like kitchen compost. It's darker, crumbly, and still fibrous, but it smells like forest soil and, collapses easily in your hand. Depending on chip size and management, this takes about 8 to 16 weeks instead of, multiple years. At that stage, it can be used as mulch soil conditioner or blended into compost mixes without any nitrogen penalty. Why does this method build soil long-term? Fast decomposition doesn't mean short-lived benefits. Properly composted wood chips increase stable organic matter, improve water retention, and feed soil fungi that transport nutrients directly to plant roots. This is the kind of compost that improves soil structure for years, not just weeks. It resists compaction, buffers those moisture swings, and supports resilient plant growth without the need for constant fertilizing. Common mistakes that slow everything down. The biggest mistake is underfeeding nitrogen. The second is letting piles dry out. The third is ignoring oxygen. If you fix those 3, wood chips stop being a problem and actually start being an asset. Another silent mistake is impatience. Compost responds to inputs, not hope. Manage the process and it moves fast. Ignore it and honestly, nothing happens. Why should master gardeners care? Wood chips are everywhere. Tree services give them away, and municipalities they stockpile them. They're honestly one of the most abundant carbon resources that gardeners have access to. Learning how to control their breakdown means free compost, healthier soil, and, fewer inputs purchased from a store. This isn't a trick. It's applied soil biology. So, here are some final thoughts and a call to action. Stop letting wood chips rot on their own and start making them work for you. When you feed microbes, manage moisture, and invite fungi into the process, decomposition accelerates beyond what most gardeners think is possible. This is truly one of those foundational skills that changes how you see compost forever. If this helped you rethink how you use wood chips, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more practical, no-nonsense gardening science. And hey, share this with a fellow gardener who's staring at a stubborn pile of chips right now. The soil will thank you for it. Master Gardener.